Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to the race prep video. Got the rough out today. See what we can do. Got my setup from Sebring, gonna go from there. Right off the bat, looks like my force feedback might be just a little bit too high. Adjust that first. So right now I'm just taking it down one click at a time until it stops going in on the right there. You see a little F in that FPS box on the bottom. The green one's your force feedback, so as long as that doesn't hit red, I'm doing fine. I mean, it's okay even if it hits red at like the most severe turning point. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm just gonna run some laps. That corner's about 1,000,000 times easier in this car compared to the Ford. So for those of you that haven't ever seen my race prep videos, whenever I, first time on the track with the car that week, I like to run, a good amount of laps until I get up to pace where I'm plateauing. So that way when I make adjustments to the car, I know what kind of effect they had. I know I'm getting more out of the car now. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, is just run some laps. And at the same time, I'm figuring out, what gear I need to be in for the corners, where I need to brake, where I need to get on the gas, all that fun stuff. And analyzing the behavior of the car. Right now, that car feels awesome, but I don't even know how hard I'm pushing, honestly, because I haven't raced for a couple days, so it's probably going to take me a little bit longer to get up pace. Hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. And for those of you on the other side of the planet, I just hope you had a good day. It's like that hairpin. Hairpin second gear. And it will spin out on you. Note taken. Car might have too much understeer for a 130R. Not sure yet. But I was off the gas for a long time through there. So there might be a little bit too much understeer in mid-corner right now, because that first little right-hander kink kind of pushed too. Almost feels dang near perfect through there. Yeah, it's a little too much understeer there for me. That's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to do something about that. Feels really nice and stable under braking through there. Much more stable than the Ford did. Man, I'm losing a lot of time through those S's. Alright. So I'm losing some time in the middle of the corner. Can't take any more spring right out of the front. Bump stop gap I can mess up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hopefully. Nope, I can't. I was gonna increase the bump stop gap, but it won't let me. I'm gonna increase the rear spring rate. You're gonna do two things. You'll watch your ride height will go up here. Hit apply. There you go. Went up about, I don't know, 1/2 to 7/10 of a millimeter. And then it also, so now obviously these springs have a little bit more force in them, so it's gonna transfer more weight to the front under when I get off the gas, and hopefully that'll lead to more rotation mid-corner. It should lead to more rotation everywhere, but which the only spot I could see more rotation hurting me right now is that one corner I always have trouble with before the back straight. And raising the ride height is basically the same thing. It just, you know, transfers more weight to the front, puts more weight to the front, creates more oversteer. The reason I didn't run like 5-10 laps that time because it was just so obvious that something needed to be done there, you know. It wasn't really a question if I needed to change my driving style or not. It had to be a setup change, so just get it out of the way and try and get those laps down. So nothing is an exact science in building a setup. The more you do it, the better a feel you get for what you should change and when you should change it. A little bit better. Rear end still feels nice and stable through there, so didn't really hurt it. Put more spring in the rear through there. Ooh, it feels really good through those two sections, two corners. Kind of forced my way out of that corner by just staying on the gas in the rear and just stayed underneath me very nicely. Again, well, you know, being a Porsche with all that weight over the rear axle, it's kind of what the car's supposed to do. Car still feels great through there, maybe even a little bit better. So, definitely went the right way with that spring change. Let's see how it does through here on the second lap. It's not ideal. I might, there's two ways I can go about it. I can change my driving style and dab the brake a little bit to get the front nose to dip down and get better bite, or I can make a setup change. Right now, I don't know which one to go with.
59.15.
This went way too hot. It's good though. It wasn't too, it's pretty stable even though I went in way hot. Inside curb kind of lifted the left rear wheel and it started to spin. Wasn't the prettiest corner exit in the world. Yeah, I just went for it. Do I want to change anything? Yeah, I do. Alright, so we'll save that. That definitely went the right direction. See at the tires. Excuse me. They're really low, but I only ran a couple laps, so don't worry about that right now. I'm just seeing if I could go one more click down the spring purchase. I couldn't. Oh, I'm kind of running out of options. What I'm gonna do is go down one click on the compression dampening, just see if I can get that front nose to dive a little bit quicker. Because with that low speed compression dampening, if you're what that does, if the higher you make that number, the more the shocks can slow down the rate at which the spring compresses under braking. So I lowered the number, so it's going to speed up the rate at which the, or it's going to allow the spring to compress quicker, which means the front nose is going to go down sooner, which I'm hoping gives me more oversteer on corner entry. Right now it's fine tuned. Like I think I could have put the previous setup on the forums and been happy with it. That felt god awful. Hopefully that was just me really messing up that corner. Another thing I just thought about, could be a little unresponsive in the front too because the tire pressures are so low. When you lower your tire pressures, you do get more grip, but at the same time it's a trade-off for responsiveness because there's more flex in the sidewall, so it doesn't have quite as direct a feel. So something I'm thinking about. I think that's going to be a hard corner to... I think that's just a hard corner for a Porsche to handle, just because of the rear engine setup and the characteristic of the car of being more on the understeer side as opposed to oversteer side. Okay, I'm pushing the limits there, seeing what the car was doing. Has a tendency to understeer when I push it, which is better than oversteered through that corner any day. So yeah, through that corner I think I might just have to change my driving style and just tap the brake. Although I could try and put more rear spring in it and see what happens.
59.67.
Porsche does a lot better with the curves than the Ford did, that's for sure. Corner, I'm thinking about doing a little bit more front brake bias. Yeah, I might have too much rear brake bias in the car. I just gave it one more click to the front of brake bias to see how she handles. I'll go through here without the brakes this time. Alright, so now I got more front brake bias. Rear end's still coming out on me. Got one more click front brake bias. .14. That's better. Best I've got through that section. That was real nice. Too fast through that second kink. I'm gonna go with brakes this time through here. I'll dab. That's not good. That's not good. So right now, the major trouble spot is 130R. Everything else is pretty good. Actually, think I'm gonna go back on that damper change. I feel like it's actually giving me two. Actually, no. Because what I feel like it's doing, I feel like the front end's, you know, setting. And then it just gives a little bit more. And then, like, it goes down. You know, it sets to a certain height. Then it just goes down a little bit more. And causes the rear end to snap loose. So, this is 171. I'm gonna leave this where it was. No, I'm not. I'm gonna put it back. Alright, but I'm gonna go up one click here. As you can see, these tire pressures are These are alright. I think those might be a little too low. Oh wait, I have offset tire pressures. Yeah, I do. Okay. So adjust that. That explains a lot. Probably noticed that earlier. Take this one down 1. That should equalize those two out. And bring this up. This up. 1. That should equalize these out. Now we'll see how she behaves. So the way I had those tire pressures before, basically in left-handers, it would, in theory, cause more oversteer, and in right-handers cause more. Right-handers more oversteer, left-handers more understeer. Now hopefully that equalized them out, it'll be a little bit more even, or it should be even in both directions now. Went with a little breakthrough there that time. Did notice the set really kind of fell off dramatically after like the 3rd or 4th lap, so I'm gonna watch that again. I'm not sure if it's just my lack of practice with this car or if it's actually the set. Definitely a personal best through there.
59.48. .36.
I'm actually starting to think about changing the front roll bar. Let's get a little bit more roll in the front of the car to try and get some more rotation out of it. Get some more side to side roll out of it. I can either do that with the sway bar or the rebound on the shocks. They're in a personal best. So I think it's more me when I was talking about earlier about the set falling off. I think I just need to get better at driving it, but right now, I'm gonna try and do 360 fail. Alright. Right now I'm gonna mess with the sway bar. Look at the tires real fast, see how they're doing. There you go. Nice and equalized. These are equalized. They're all kind of similar, so we'll save that. Okay, so like I was saying before, there's two different things I could do to get more roll in the front. I could decrease this rebound dampening, and the more dampening you have, the slower the spring will release from compression. So, so you're going into a right-hander, the car is going to want to lean, or you're going into a left-hander, the car is going to want to lean to the right, right? When the car leans to the right, the spring's going to decompress, and this is going to slow down the rate at which it does, so it's going to slow down the weight transfer to the right. But at the same time, these also affect the dynamics of the car under acceleration, and after you you get off the gas and nose dives down, and then it's going to want to come back up again. It's going to slow that rate down. I don't really want to mess with that, because if I bring this down, it's going to make the nose come up quicker, which is going to cause more understeer in the middle of the corner, which is already something I'm fighting. So instead of messing with the dampener, I'm just going to go with this roll bar and take it down 1. So all that affects is the movement from side to side. This doesn't affect anything to do with weight transfer from the front to the rear. I mean, I'm sure it does have some side effects, but mainly it doesn't affect that as much as the compression dampening does. So we'll see how that does. And the main reason for doing this is 130R. Another nice little side effect of making that adjustment to the roll bar, because the roll bar basically connected to wheel assemblies to each other, and so the stiffer you make that front roll bar, when the right tire hits a bump, you're going to feel it in the left tire, and the softer you make that sway bar, the less you're going to feel that bump, the less the bump's going to affect the other side of the car. So what that means is I can maybe get a little bit more of a curb, and it won't upset the car as much as if I had more front roll bar in there. I don't know if that's true yet, but that's a possible side effect. Way too deep. Ooh, that felt real good. Alright, see how she does on 130R. No brake. Again, wasn't ideal. Could have been better. It's hard to say in one lap.
$59.75.
I just went purple in that last sector. Just pushed a little too hard through there. Went in there a little too fast. I want to try and keep that purple going. Gonna do a little brake dab through here this time. That worked a little bit better. Again, the whole reason I'm doing that is just to get that front nose to drop. Get a little bit more bite in it so I can get through that corner a little bit better.
59.87.
Oof, I don't know what just happened there. I broke too late. That was ugly. Man, I'm driving sloppy right now. I'm gonna do about 3 to 5 more laps and then call it. See if I can get some consistency going here. Went through there that time without brakes. I did pretty good.
.12. 29.55.
Just gets a little loose. Just a little loose getting out of there. Like almost perfect. I'm gonna save that because I do like the roll bar change. I'm gonna take Camber out of the rear. See if that helps with the traction coming out of the rear. So what it does, less camber you have in the rear, basically the more parallel the rear tire is to the ground. You'll have a bigger contact patch. Oh, let's see what we can do here. I'll let him get way up there. So yeah, ideally you want your, you know, if you're a left-hander, you want your right rear tire to be perfectly flat with the ground once the car rolls over into the left-hander. And you do that by adjusting the camber. You know, you put more static camber in it, so when it does roll and that to the right and a left-hander and that right rear spring compresses, that tire becomes flat with the ground. But you can overdo it. And if you overdo it, then you won't have as much of that tire contacting the road, and smaller contact patch just equals less grip. And again, camber is usually how much the tires are leaning in towards the middle of the car. I can feel my concentration starting to go away, so hopefully I can get a couple more good laps in here. Get this all done in one shot. I mean, if I do it right, I should just have better overall grip in the rear, all the way around the track. Like, it felt like I had better grip going through that first corner. Rear end didn't seem as nervous. Oh yeah, I was able to get on it. The line was kind of off, but again, it's just the first lap, so I can't get too excited. Ugh, accidental double downshift. So, felt good, but still gotta run a couple more laps just to be sure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with brakes through there. It's much more confident, can be more aggressive that way. Way too hot through there. Whereas when I'm just lifting, going through 130 yards, I'm much more tentative.
59.7.
And if I have an option between being tentative and aggressive, I will go for aggressive. And a way too hot. And it's kind of hard to explain what I mean by aggressive, because I know I always tell you guys about driving easy, not overdriving the car. I guess what I mean is I can attack the corner and the car will still stay underneath me. I have confidence it'll stay underneath me, where when in that situation, when I let off the car, I have less confidence that I know what the car is going to do. So it's not so much I'm driving past the ability of the car, it's just I'm driving it in a different way that still gives me more confidence, you know. I hope that made sense. Definitely not overdriving the car. That's the main point. Just driving it a different way to get a desired result, which is a boost in confidence. Again, I'm not really focusing, so I wouldn't put too much into these lap times I'm running right now. It's more about the feel for me. But I will try my best to do 3 solid laps here. Definitely went the right way with that camber change. Yep. When I tried to get on the throttle like that before, that's when it slid out on me. Overdrove that. Overdrove that. But like I've said in previous videos, I wasn't overdriving those on purpose. But at a time, it is helpful to start overdriving the car just to see what it'll do. So you'll be used to catching slides, or, you know, you'll have better idea what the car is going to do when it's out of control, and give yourself a better chance to regain control. And also see the, you know, what are the flaws in the car when you really push it to the limit. Alright, gonna do 2 more laps, but right now I really like the way the car feels. Just need to, you know, get a fresh start. Run a lot of practice laps to get a little bit more consistent time down. .95. Yep, focus is gone, folks. Alright. That's my sign. I'll leave it at that. Car feels pretty good. Check out tire pressures real quick. And you see it's a little bit more even if you go back, I didn't run as many laps, but I still think obviously it's gonna be more even because I don't have as much of this outside tire up off the ground. All right, save that setup already, and go run some practice laps and then do a race. All right, man. Until next time, guys.